Yes, guys, hello and welcome back to the Spurs-related YouTube channel and podcast. I hope everyone is doing very well today. Today, we are going to be reviewing the Villarreal match in the Champions League last night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 1, Villarreal 0. It was amazing to get the 3 points. Fantastic to be, up and about in a winning way. However, it was probably one of the worst matches I've seen live for a few months. But we're going to break down all of the findings, all of the statistics, and give our opinion on who were the players of the match. Make sure you are smashing the chat down below in the live chat, or if you're watching offline, make sure you let us know who you think were the key players in the match yesterday. Do you feel very much the same? Do you feel like it was a terrible game of football, but the 3 points is all that mattered? Let us know anyway. And make sure you are, of course, doing those 3 to 4 magical things, which are free to do so, which include hitting the like button down below. It's free to do so. Turning on the notification bell down below, it's free to do so. And, of course, subscribing if you're new. We're on the way to 5,000 subscribers now, and we appreciate all the support. But as you can see, I'm joined alongside Thomas Frank's AI's son, Frank Thomas. New background today. Look at that. He's upgraded. He's upgrading all round today. But Frank, how you doing, mate? You buzzing with the win?
I am. The performance less so, but no, the win. It was important that they got off on the right foot, and they did. There were some players that I thought were very good. I'm sure we'll get into shortly, but no, all in all, a pretty good night at Tottenham, bar the performance itself.
100% agree with you, mate. 100% agree with you. We've got Logan in the chat saying, big up, lads. Big up, Logan. Always in here first. Always in here first. I think we need a competition for Logan. He's always first to comment on YouTube. I love it. Or it's Stu. One of the two. It used to be Ian Army, but, there's a few competitors these days. It's a bit of a rivalry. But big up, Logan. Hope you're well. He's also said it wasn't a pretty game, but 3 points is 3 points no matter how he won. Exactly that. And Bergvall, the outstanding player. Speaking of Stu, he must have heard me talking. Here he is. Got a new profile picture as well. Absolutely love it, Stu. Hope you're well. Darren Kilbane, we need to sign Semenyo in January. We'll get into what we think we need. I mean, the left-hand side, I just don't like Xavi Simons on the left. I know it's early, but I think he's wasted on the left. But we'll get into that as well. Henry's in here saying, COYS, big up, Henry. Hope you're good as well. And top fan. And Stu is also in the building. Don't think I missed any for now. But guys, if you are joining the chat, make sure you let us know your thoughts on the game. But we will get into the main bits of the show. We'll probably do about 40 or so minutes tonight, guys. Hopefully that suits you as well. So, as we've said, Frank, 1-0 win. Nothing absolutely, exceptional in that. It was very much I would describe it as a chess match, but quite a bad chess match in the sense that it was very difficult to break Villarreal down. They found it difficult to break us down. You can see that from the statistics, which we'll get up in a moment's time as well. But, I mean, I believe there was 20 or so shots, only 1 on target in the whole game. Villarreal had 10 shots, 0 on target. I believe we had 1 shot on target, and I don't even think that was the goal. And I've got to just mention, by the way, Frank, I've got to mention, what did I say in the pre-match build-up with that keeper? I said we should take a shot at him or something because I think he's a bit sketchy. No one else commented on that. And, he's had an absolute howler 4 minutes in. What's his name? Junior. I think he needs to go back to junior school, honestly. I mean, listen, a lot of keepers have horrendous moments, but that is up there with one of the worst I've seen. It has to be said. But, guys, let us know what you're thinking, Frank, just to sort of go over the game in general. What's your thoughts, mate? Like, do you agree with the fact I'm saying it's like a chess match? Do you think we weren't good enough offensively? Do you think it was just 2 good teams that are hard to break down? What are your thoughts, mate?
I hope I don't get cancelled for this. It was probably, as you say, quite a low quality chess match, probably between, like, if I was playing, and I've never played chess in my life, someone like Stevie Wonder, who obviously can't see, it was that low quality, right? It was, I might get in trouble for that. it was very low quality. It's probably the best way of putting it. It was awful. It was a dreadful game of football. But at the end of the day, they had to win, and they did, and that was what was important. It was a pressured game last night because it was the first game in the Champions League at home in a game you're expected to win, and I thought we were not great, of course, but it was important they got over the line. And sometimes it's about just getting over the line, and they did last night. And so for that reason, in a game that in history Spurs probably could have slipped up on or drawn that game or whatever, I think we came out of it in pretty good stead. Certainly defensively. But I mean, there's still work to be done offensively, and we'll get into that. I mean, I'm going to probably get the ump again about Richarlison, but I'll get into that in a little while's time. But certainly, all in all, good win. Good first 3 points onto Bodo Glimt in a couple of weeks' time.
Sure, mate, absolutely, and we'll get up the match ratings in a minute as well. Maybe courtesy of SofaScore or FootMob to see sort of how they're shaping up and whether you guys agree with some of these ratings as well. But Hendra Setiawan, hopefully I've got the pronunciation right there. Please correct me if I am wrong. Is saying the only problem is we've got no end product. This is what you're saying, Frank. Richie is constantly out of position. He hasn't got a number 9's instinct like Kane. Listen, if we're comparing players to Harry Kane, like what we doing? But I get what you're saying. Like in terms of the mold of player, he's not really necessarily a natural 9. Used to very much play off the left more, didn't he, for Everton? And has played off the left for Spurs as well. I do understand your point. I do understand it. We had a good 30 minutes, I think, then just dropped way off, says Stu. I'd agree with that as well. We did have a good spell where we were looking like we were going to get a second, but just didn't come really, did it? These are the stats, as I kept mentioning. Let's bring them up on screen, courtesy of THFC Frank, of course. Well, actually, what is this, BBC? I don't know. Anyway, they're relatively the same on all sites, aren't they? But total shots 9, total shots 10, shots on target 1, shots on target 0. I mean, what an absolutely horrendous game of football if you look at it like that. 0.54 expected goals to 0.48, Frank. Even in the passing, like 84 and 79%, it just seems like a bit of a sloppy game. 14 fouls to 13. I'm pretty sure there was a yellow card. There was a stage where there was 4 yellow cards in about 10 minutes at the end of the first half. I can't remember how many yellow cards it ended up on, but it was just a scrappy game. I think that's the word I've got for it, a scrappy game.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty dismal, to be honest. As I say, it's really weird that we've won a game in the Champions League and it feels like we've lost because of I was speaking about it. But it was dull. It was dire. Thankfully, not Eric. It was poor.
You're on one tonight, mate. You're on one tonight.
But no, all in all, as I say, they won and that was important. I think the referee was really poor on some decisions that could have gone in our favour in terms of 50-50s and things. I don't think we got any of those. On the flip side, I think we were also lucky that Van der Ven and Simmons both weren't sent off. So I think it probably goes both ways. As much as I thought he was pretty poor in that we got no 50-50s. 2 of the biggest decisions of the game they got. So yeah, I mean, as I say, all in all, I keep sort of saying it. I think the most enjoyable part of last night was not only the goal, but when the unnamed man in his 30s came on, and that was a hell of a 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that was the loudest cheer of the whole match. I say it's cheer, it was more of a boo, wasn't it? But I found it quite interesting this morning that he was in court in London. I mean, nice of him to make the double trip. But anyway, we won't talk about that. We won't get too sort of general news on here. But Logan saying we should have had 2 penalties. The ref was a joke. Saying Stu here saying the ref was terrible. Guys, give me 1s and 2s in the chat. Get your fingers and thumbs warmed up. Give me a 1 in the chat if you think we deserved the win, and give me a 2 in the chat if you think we didn't necessarily deserve the win. Because on balance, like you're saying, Frank, like maybe they should have maybe they should have. Well, they had a free kick right on the edge that got reviewed to see if it was in the box, right? And like you said, maybe we should have had one or two red cards. Would you have been a 1 or a 2 here, Frank? Would you have been a 1 for we deserve the win, or not?
A 1 all day long. 1 all day long. I mean, I didn't think we were great, but we were very in control of that. I mean, what was the 58% possession? I mean, we were very, very in control of it. I thought yesterday. I didn't think. Obviously, I don't think we were at our best at all, but they never really, to me, looked like they were going to hurt us. I know they had a couple of chances. Buchanan had one, which he sort of put wide. Pepe had 1 or 2, which went just wide as well. But all in all, I think they were toothless, and I think they were pretty nothing. I always felt that at 1-0, we were more likely to go and score again than them, and even though we were playing pretty poorly. And that was kind of what I said the other day, that I thought that quality difference would kind of just be the difference, in that players like Jose Perez, Nicolas Pepe, they're decent players, but they're not great players, right? And I think solely we won it probably on quality yesterday. I think better teams yesterday might have put us to bed if we play like that again. So we have got to probably buck up our ideas a little bit and buck up the performances slightly in those sort of games. But that will come. There was a lot of players that were learning and never played in the Champions League yesterday, or never played the Champions League before yesterday. So people will learn, players will learn. You know, it's a young side. But yeah, all in all, we were relatively in control of that game, I thought, yesterday. And yeah, I think it's a pretty fair result.
Sure, absolutely. Looks like the chat agree with you on the whole, mate. Agree with you on the whole. We'll move on to talking more about the game and the specifics and the tactics. I know, Frank, you want to show something about Xavi Simons on the tactics board, which will be great. I just wanted to bring up a couple more bits. This is from Data MB. Pedro Porro has humiliated every single Premier League fullback this season statistically versus fullbacks in 25-26. This is in the Prem. He's first for defensive duels. He's first for possessions won. Also for progressive actions, crosses, forward passes, long passes completed, progressive passes completed, progressive passes. Not sure what that one is. Passes into the final third and passes to the penalty box. So this just really does highlight. How how great he's been. I still do have my reservations about him defensively, but offensively you can't argue with some of these. But saying that, defensive duels won, he's first. I'm guessing this means when he's getting attacked on, if that makes sense. Would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Porro, I love Porro. I think Porro's amazing. I think he's when he's playing well. People talk about how brilliant Trent was and things like that. When he's playing well, I don't see him, he's not that far off that level. I don't think he's actually started the season that well. I think he was brilliant away at City in the second half. Other than that, I thought he was pretty decent last night, actually. But other than last night, I don't think he's had a brilliant start to the season by his standards, and yet his numbers are still as good as they are. So I think he's going to end up being a really, really good player for Tottenham again this season, but better than he has been in the last couple of years, which has still been of a pretty good level.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, guys. Let us know what you think on Pedro Porro. Do you agree with Frank there? Do you think maybe he hasn't started the season as well as he maybe could have done? But listen, that's all. I'm all ears to it. If he's going to get even better throughout the season, then that's even better, considering those stats are quite impressive, guys. Numbers are starting to grow. I only plug 2 or 3 times every single video. Please do, if you are joining on YouTube. There's like 30 or 40 of you watching on Twitter live. There's 20 or 30 of you on YouTube and a few on Facebook. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, please come over to the Spurs-related YouTube channel. There's much more content over here. Make sure if you are on the YouTube now, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the notification bell so you never miss a live video. You never miss a normal video. And subscribe, of course, if you are new. I think we are literally 1 subscriber away from 4.4K, guys. So, the next big milestone is, of course, 5K. But we appreciate everyone's help. So if you could all do that, all of you on the live now, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'm going to catch up with chat, Frank, and then we will go into the next segment. We're too obsessed with morals, says Ash. Liverpool also got Sheethouse. I just realised what you meant. Sheethouse win this weekend. Just be happy. It happens in football. Absolutely. Yeah, Liverpool didn't play well the other day, did they? They really didn't. There was 2 other handballs in the other games, non-different to the one we should have got. It's just consistency that does my head in with these referees. Just consistency. And in the same competition, how are they awarding? It's just silly. Anyway, I was saying we will beat Dortmund when we play, but they are surprising everyone. Yeah, crazy game, by the way, though. Dortmund bottled it last night. They were 4-2 up in the 93rd minute, and they drew 4-4. Lloyd Kelly with an equaliser. I can't even believe I had to double check the name. I was thinking Lloyd Kelly. He scored again last weekend as well, didn't he? But Logan's saying, but they are surprising everyone, so I reckon it's going to be a test. I think. Do you know what? Even last night was a test, guys. Like, let's be honest. Like, we didn't play our best, but Villarreal aren't a terrible side. I think if they got clicking up front a bit more with Mika Tuadze, who I didn't think had an amazing game, by the way, I was a bit worried about him. Maybe they'll cause more problems. Porro is the most important player in our Euro. In the Europa League, he was our most important player. And when I mean surprise everyone, I meant they are scoring goals. Got it. Yeah, absolutely. That game against Dortmund could be 3-3 or something, or we continue our nice clean sheet record, which is 1 goal conceded in all competitions all season, which is against Bournemouth. It's kind of crazy, Frank. We haven't conceded a goal in the second half all year, mate. I know it's only been 5 games, so I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but it's quite incredible. Anyway, what we'll do now is we'll come on to these little preview. We'll come into these in a minute. Frank, are you ready to share your screen yet, or?
Yeah,
Super.
Yeah.
So Frank's going to just quickly take us through a couple of tactical points from the game. And guys, if you want a more in-depth tactics video, if you want an in-depth, what's going on there? If you want a more in-depth tactics video, maybe later on or tomorrow, we can create that for you guys. So maybe put a 1 in the chat if you do enjoy the tactical breakdowns. Maybe put a 2 in the chat if you're not so keen on the tactical side. It would be interesting just to know what you guys like in terms of content. At the end of the day, we do this content for you. So appreciate any feedback on this. But Frank, you've just you're live. You're sharing your screen. Talk us through what you wanted to say about Xavi Simons being on the left, mate, and how maybe, in my opinion, he's a little bit limited out there.
So it's kind of forget almost everyone else here, right? Just for a minute, I want to talk about these 2 up here in Simons and Spence. In that I know it's very early days, but I think they work horribly together. And I think it was a big problem in last night in our build-up. And I thought the same at West Ham, by the way. I said during pre-season, I think after we lost to Bayern Munich, I filmed a video, an offline one. And I said at the time, I don't think Jed Spence is a left-back. I think he's a great full-back. I think he's great defensively. I don't think he's a left-back. And I think we need to maybe stop pushing this idea a little bit, because as great as he can be, we have major issues pushing forward with him at left back, and it was really, really shown last night. Emphasised last night, and it's these 2, right? Xavi Simons, if he's playing on the left, wants to come inside. These are the areas he wants to be getting in, which is great, right? And I'm all right with that. I thought he had a decent game last night. It's great, but having a right-footed left back means that they also want to come inside.
Yeah.
So you're overcrowding this area, and a lot of the time, Jed Spence is holding on to the ball too long. I mean, he did it quite a few times last night. The nonchalant sort of way he has, the sort of just strolling with the ball, which is great, and it's what makes him great. But it's certainly an issue at times, and I think it was last night. And he's a little bit slow, a little bit ponderous on the ball, and that's tedious to 1, watch, and 2, probably play with, because then Simons isn't actually being fed the ball in positions where he can run at people, and so that in itself is a problem. So you could then argue that when Udogi's fit, and this is what I think should happen, that when Udogi's fit, I think they will work really well together, because he will overlap. He will go. He wants to be on the flanks, right? So Simons will have more space in the middle. Udogi will have space out wide. Fantastic. That works in itself. You could also flip it and go, well, actually, Jed Spence works at left back, fine, but then you need someone that doesn't play inside on the wing. So maybe you go, well, Brennan Johnson, just for argument's sake, actually might work better in that area, because then if Johnson's hugging the touchline, Spencer's the one that's actually coming inside, and he's very good at that. Spence, by the way, he's very good at driving with the ball inside. I've seen it a couple of times already this season. There was one that he did against Bayern Munich, I think it was, like quite early on in that friendly, where he just drove with it for about 4 of them, and it was brilliant to see. And he can do that so well because he's so strong, he's so quick, and he's powerful, he's explosive, and that's great. And so but I think the combination needs some work. So whether that be Udogie and Simmons, whether that be Spence and Johnson, I don't think that Spence and Simmons work together if Simmons is going to play on the left, because we're talking about Simmons who likes to come inside. Spence also likes to come inside. You don't have anyone hugging the touchline or any width on that left-hand side. So then often it's being forced out to Kudus, and he's then still being doubled up on. And so I think that was a problem of last night. So I think that pairing needs to be changed. I think Thomas Frank also clocked that. When Udogie came on, he sent him out to warm up quite early. I don't think last night was Spence's best game anyway. And I'm not in any way saying he's not a great player, because I think he is brilliant. But I think in a system it works. In certain games it works. I think with certain players around him it works. I don't think that Simmons is the partner for him personally on that left-hand side.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with everything you said there, mate. I agree with everything you said. In terms of like how you mix that up, then I know you've put in Johnson there and you've explained a couple of points, but what do you do then? Like, what would you have changed? Say at half time yesterday, would you have put Xavi in the 10, and then would you have put Johnson on the left, or would you have gone Odebear? Like, just talk me through your thoughts in terms of going forward, because I think that I don't think Xavi Simmons will be playing on the left. Sort of going forward much more, and I think we're going to start to see the introduction of Kolo Muani, not necessarily on the left, but that then means that if Kolo Muani plays up in the 9 and Richarlison is struggling, Solanke may not be fit, then you could play Simmons behind Kolo Muani and potentially, arguably, Odebear or Richarlison or Tell on the left, and then Kudus on the right. What do you think, mate?
I think the Simmons I think what the plan is for playing Simmons on the left is to help him bed in, right? You let him get the ball and run at a fullback, and he can do that. Whereas if you play him in the middle in a Premier League game in the midfield, it's quite intense. And so I think the idea was to allow him to bed in. Having said that, I think he's more effective in the middle. I, at half time, probably wouldn't have done anything. But then as soon as it hit probably the 60th minute and we lost a bit of control, I would have 100%, I think I would have brought off both of these two, actually. I know Bergvall was pretty good, but I probably would have gone with something like this, and I would have brought Bergvall off for Paulinho. I just think
Paulinho did come on, didn't he? But it was quite late.
Yeah, so I probably would have made those changes, and I probably would have also, or I would have either gone Spence if you're going to have used Johnson, or if you were going to leave Simmons out there, Udogie. But that's probably the sort of thing I would have gone for after about 60 minutes, I think, because I think we were struggling. That left-hand side was struggling. I think the midfield was getting overrun a little bit. I mean, I thought Bentancur was the best player on the pitch for Spurs yesterday. I'm surprised he didn't actually get man of the match. I thought he was excellent. But other than that, I thought Bergvall had a pretty good game. I think he was quietly pretty good. He got man of the match. But I probably would have looked to probably bring him off after 60, 65 minutes. And I think that would have probably been what I would have looked at. Obviously, we saw Kolo Muani come on as well, as you look forward a little bit more, which was good. I thought his cameo was. He didn't do much. I thought it was, a pretty dismal cameo, actually.
He didn't look fully fit, mate. I don't think he looked fully fit.
He didn't. I agree. I think he looked like someone that hadn't played football in 3 months, which he hasn't.
He looked like he'd been like off for Christmas or something. Like maybe I don't know. He enjoyed himself at Christmas, kind of thing. By the way, not meaning his weight there. I'm just meaning like he didn't look match fit, did he?
You know, when you play 5-a-side and you miss like 2 weeks of it or whatever, and you come back and you realise that you're struggling again. That's what he looked like, and that's kind of the impression I got. And listen, I think he's gonna be a really good player when he's fit, by the way. But yeah, yesterday I thought. But then on the flip side, I thought he was awful, and I don't actually think he offered much less than Richarlison did. I thought Richarlison had an absolute honker yesterday. And not to shoot him down or anything.
You're his biggest fan, though, so I'm really surprised you're saying that. Anyway, Ash is saying Kudus always kills the tempo of the attack, which gives the opponents time to get back into position. That's an interesting point. He can sort of slow it down, and then he sort of puts the burners on. It's sort of like he's really slow. You know, like one of those Panenka stutter penalties where they go and then they suddenly go. It's like him with dribbling. He sort of calms it down, and then he suddenly goes. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. But what do you think at this point from Ash?
Yeah, I do get it. I think sometimes he does too much, which is a bit of a problem. But I think that's solely a problem right now because I don't think we had width on that left-hand side. And so I think still we're in the position where a lot was being forced to him and he was still the sole creator at times yesterday, because that left-hand side was a mess, just because they were both sort of running into each other and into each other's space. And so, listen, I do get the point, but I think also at times yesterday, I mean, he was creator of probably some of our better chances and things. I thought he was trying to sort of pick the lock a little bit, and listen, he because he's so quick and so skillful, he can hurt you in a flash, and that's something that Spurs haven't had for a long time. So whilst he does at times slow it down, and I think Thomas Frank will work on him and work on that part of his game, I think right now he's one of the lesser concerns I have, just because naturally I think he'll learn what Thomas Frank wants. He'll learn about the players he's playing with and whatever. And I think he's also someone as well that needs a runner up front. And so I think he will gel with Solanke pretty quickly and pretty well, actually, if and when Solanke comes back. Because Solanke he runs into the channels. He works unbelievably hard, Solanke. So I think he will gel with him well. I think Richarlison's movement was quite poor last night, and I think that probably impacts Kudus as well when he's constantly looking up. And the problem is with Simmons, like Kudus himself, is that if you pass to him, if you switch a ball to him, it has to be pinpoint. But he's not going to fight someone in the air for it or whatever. It's got to be, on a sixpence. And so, yeah, all in all, I think he's a good player, and I think he's been a great signing so far. I think he will end up being a really top signing. I think Thomas Frank will work with him. I think he'll develop him. I get the point. I get the argument. I do think it will be okay though, longer term. I just think last night was a real showing of a team of a front line that were playing together fully for the first time it was a front three.
No, I agree. I think your point at the end there is a bit of disconnect. It's going to take some time to gel. I was saying on another interview earlier that it's going to take time for Xavi Simmons, Kolo Muani, Kudus, all of these new players to gel. And I think it's probably easier for a player like Paulinho, who's coming in and sort of most of the time next to an experienced player in Bentancur, or perhaps a Sarr who's been absolutely fantastic. I think it's probably slightly easier to adapt in midfield than in the attack. I think with the attack, it's so important with the patterns of play and, the intricate passing. That is super important. You have to know the players well. And so all this time in training and this development that they're going to be doing together and working together on those patterns of play is all going to be part of sort of Spurs moving forward and being a better attacking unit, I think. But just going to catch up on chat, guys. Keep smashing the like, keep smashing the subscribe. You know what to do. I only bring it up 3 times a video. We're going to do one now. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. There's only 18 likes on this video. That is absolutely poor like game. Where's your like game gone, guys? Turn on the notification bell if you are new to the stream. Of course, I can see the numbers are rising. And subscribe if you're new. We are very close to 4.4K. We may have even hit 4.4K. But please do hit the subscribe. I'm going to catch up on the chat now. Logan saying, I've seen a lot of people saying we need to be playing Xavi in his natural position. I have to agree. He needs to be in the middle. Guys, interaction piece while you're hitting the like and hitting the subscribe. Please do whack it in. Number 1, if you think Xavi Simmons needs to play the 10 next game. And number 2, if you prefer him on the left-hand side. It'd be interesting to see. Round table's a little bit behind. All good, mate. Hope you're good. Afternoon, gents. Alan, apologies for the late arrival. Don't apologise. You're here. I really appreciate you being here. We have got a super chat, and that is from James. What a great name. What a great profile picture, in the fields. Very generous of you, mate. Thank you so much. And guys, it brings me on to my next point, which is very kindly been demonstrated by James. If you do want to make a super chat, it creates new talking points. So, James, if you've got a talking point you want to put in the chat now, we then sort of steer the show over to these super chats and these debates. If you wanted to find out what the chat's thinking on a particular subject, whack in a $1.99 super chat. That's all it needs to be. And you can create some debates. It's really good fun. So thank you very much, James. That is... Always feel a bit weird when I'm saying my own name, saying thank you. I think I'm thanking myself. But no, James, thank you very much. That's very kind. And of course, guys, there is also membership options down below. What does a membership do? Well, it's £2.99 a month, I believe. And it gives you 2 great benefits. One is that you skip the queue in the chat in terms of I always prioritize people that are members in the chat. And number 2, you can actually come in on some fan phone-in shows and have your say and come on these shows with Frank and I. We've had a couple of guests so far. It's been good fun. So please make sure you are supporting the channel if you can financially, but absolutely not compulsory at all. But let's catch up again. So Gibatron saying, if we play a 4-2-3-1 and play Simmons in the 10, who do we play in the pivot with Palhinha, Sarr, Bergvall, or Bentancur? I'm going to star this message because we're going to come back to it because I really want to catch up on chat. It's a good question. But that sort of stuff is great for the talking points. The dream is Son, Kale, and Bale if we want to win a big trophy. Some forwards have to step up, says Ash. Big up, says Ghosted. Big up yourself. Afternoon, says Destiny. And to be fair, Richie looks like he was playing off the defense's shoulders, but the balls didn't come weak enough. When subbed, he did show a bit of frustration. Didn't show quick enough. Got it. And then one's in the chat for Xavi Simmons in the 10. And Kolo Moani in the 9. Great profile picture, by the way. But big up yourself wherever you're from. And Alan's putting thumbs up. So guys, let's go back to the show. And again, thank you very much, James. Really do appreciate that. I say go back to the show. I did promise Gibatron we're going to debate this one. Frank, what do you make of this question? Who do we play in the pivot with Palhinha if we did switch to a 4-2-3-1?
I think this weekend we actually will, is my hunch. Brighton play quite a high line. So I think they'll want Simmons in the 10, sort of feeding balls through. So I think it will be, my hunch this weekend is it'll be Bentancur, Palhinha and Simmons, because they will want enough cover and protection for Simmons if they're going to try it this week. I think they also know as well they can play those two, and they know that they need 90 minutes of just working unbelievably hard of the players that play this weekend. Then they've got almost a free week with Doncaster. They can leave most of them out, and then they can work for Wolves. So, yeah, I mean, I would suspect it will be Bentancur, Palhinha, and Simmons, and I think it'll be Johnson, Kudus, and one other up front. My guess is, I'd like it to be Tell, actually. My guess is probably Richarlison now on Saturday.
Let us know if you agree with that, guys. Put in your front four that you would start for the game against Brighton now, isn't it? Brighton on Saturday. Frank, are you going to be there at the Brighton game?
Sadly not. I'd love to have been. I was there last year when in the one that we lost 3-2 and we were 2 up at half time. But no, this year I won't be, sadly.
I was also there. One of the worst afternoons of my life, I think. Bergvall for creativity. Sarr if we want to press, says Ash. Good point. And Alan agrees with you for rotation as well. Cool. Let's get on to the next few stats, and we'll maybe come back to the tactics board on this. So just going to, remove that. Lucas Bergvall versus Premier League midfielders per 90. This is against all Premier League midfielders so far, I believe, this season. Frank, is that correct?
I think so, yeah. Pretty sure.
Aerial duels first, shots on target first, crosses to box first, accelerations first, assists first, goals and assists first, goals per 100 touches first. I feel like goals per 100 touches, that's got to be a made-up stat. Come on, we're scraping the barrel on that one. But anyway, top 7 league profile, you can go and check out on Data MB. Just giving them a little plug if they appreciate that, then happy days. But anyway, good insight, mate. Good insight. What do you make of this? And I mean, he's been absolutely sensational. Not to mention that he got Player of the Match last night as well. Champions League Player of the Match. He got Premier League Player of the Match and Premier League Player of the Week last weekend against West Ham. He's on fire, isn't he, Bergvall?
He is. I mean, I think you've probably got to preface the stats a little bit with the fact that he's played less minutes than probably a lot of the big counterparts in the Premier League, because he played sort of 80 against Burnley, and then he came on for a tiny bit at the end of City game. Bournemouth, he didn't start, and then West Ham, he started. So he's obviously played less than the others around him. Some of the other sort of big competition, I would imagine, like your Bruno Fernandez's and whoever. But all in all, I mean, they are very, very positive numbers. The kid's a superstar. That is the simple fact. To be honest, I think he has every attribute and every right to probably be one of the best players that Spurs have had in this sort of generation. On par with when we had Kane and Dele and Eriksen and whatever. He's got so much talent, and you just see it with he's intelligent with the passes he makes, intelligent with the runs he makes. He's just a clever footballer. He can play as a 6, an 8, a 10. He can do a lot. For me, I think we're going to be having conversations at the back end of this season about, if he stays fit, that is, about him being one of the best midfielders in the country, and subsequently probably Europe. I think he's unbelievable, and I really, really mean that. And I'd be absolutely staggered if there aren't talks for sort of links with him to Madrid in the next year or so, which is obviously devastating. But I think he's that good that I'm staggered. I'm staggered, to be honest, that he's at Tottenham. But not to put us down or anything, but it feels like he should be at Real Madrid. He's that good.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. What a player. What a player. And like you said, is he a 6? Is he an 8? Is he a 10? I think I summarised it the other day. I can't remember what stream might have even been our stream. I think he's a hybrid. I think he can genuinely do a job. He could probably do it. He's one of those players where he could probably do a job at right back, like if he needed to. Like he's just that good. His all-round game is very, very good for the young age of 19 as well, mate. It's incredible to think how sort of ahead of his years he is. But yeah, guys, let us know. Go on.
Yeah, about Paulinho with him. I saw it come out last night. I don't know if you saw it. That he said Paulinho only found out last week he was 19. He thought he was like 23 or something. He said he was like blown away. He couldn't believe when someone said to him that he was 19 this week. Which I think sums it up. That sums it up the best way, probably.
He's so intelligent as well. Like a lot of these youngsters that come in, they're like sort of, they're young, they're energetic, they may be very good at dribbling, they may show signs, but it's his intelligence as well. Like that run he made for the West Ham game, the leaping header, the way he sprays the ball about, the way he puts in a challenge, the way he gets the ball, knows exactly. He's ahead of it, isn't he? He's one of those players that has a football brain, right? Yeah. You talk about snooker brain, for those snooker fans and players. I love my snooker personally, but like Ronnie O'Sullivan will say, you either got a snooker brain or you haven't got a snooker brain. You're either 3 or 4 shots ahead. You know exactly your next path. Your shot 3 shots before. It's the same in football in terms of a midfielder, right? He knows exactly what he's going to do when he gets the ball, and especially in that West Ham game, everything he did was just absolutely perfect. And he just knows. He's just class, mate. He really is. And I don't want to get ahead of myself because listen, he's not. He's consistent, but this is probably his best run for a little while. And so. Oh, the cat's going out. Anyway, sorry, that put me off. I don't fancy Johnson on the left. I'd rather tell Odobert or Richie out there if it meant Simmons 10, Kulu 9. Definitely have a gem on our hands, says James. 100%, mate. 100%. Guys, actually, put a little engagement piece. We love to do an engagement piece every 10 minutes or so based on these stats and everything else. And what we've just discussed there about Bergvall. Put it in the chat. Put me in a 6, an 8, or a 10, depending on where you think Bergvall's best position is. Because for me, I like him in the sort of box-to-box sort of role, maybe like a slightly advanced 8. I just think he's so good offensively, but really is great at sort of breaking down the play as well from a defensive point of view. So I think that's what I would put. But put an 8, a 10, or a 6. I think Michael Carrick was complimenting Bergvall in a post-match interview. I think I saw Carrick interviewing. Who was he interviewing? It might have been Thomas Frank, actually.
Yeah, it was Thomas Frank this week.
Yeah. Fernando, great name. Love Fernando. Fernando Torres, top player when he was at Liverpool for a bit. Then he just kind of
should have gone for Llorente. Should have gone for the Spurs one.
Yeah, that's terrible for me, isn't it? Fernando Alonso for an F1 fan. Anyway, we will look at a lot better when Xavi is in the 10 and Frank finds a left wing solution. What else have we got here? It's got Amos Sinis and even guys. Guys, make sure those of you that are just joining, either catch up on the show if you'd like to, of course. But while you're doing that, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're turning on the noti bells, and make sure you subscribe. And if you're new, I won't plug it for the rest of the video, but while our numbers are sort of getting higher, please do help us out, guys. It's really easy. Like, notification bell, subscribe, 3 free things. And as I said before, very kindly, like James has done, super chat option is available to help us upgrade equipment. And also, you can become a member where you get to skip the queue on the chat, and you can come on the show. It's £2 per month. But yeah, Scott, hope you're doing well. Basically, everyone in the chat, mate, Alan, Ghosted, Destiny, and James have all said that Bergvall's an 8. Do you agree with that as well?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the biggest compliment you can probably pay him is that I got a notification from Spurs a minute ago on Twitter that they've just that he's in the first FIFA Team of the Week of the year. So that's probably the biggest compliment you can give him now, isn't it? He's the kid's a superstar. He's a superstar as an 8, a 10, a 6. He is an 8 predominantly. But no, he's fantastic. He's fantastic, and I feel privileged to be able to watch him at Tottenham because he's the sort of player that I watch who's at like Brighton usually or even bigger and better than us. And I know he's going to go on and be an unbelievable player for someone. I hope he's an unbelievable player for Tottenham. He's obviously on a long contract, but the guy is just. I mean, even the run last night for the goal, and I know we talk about how ridiculous the goal was, and it was insane. But the run is just clever. It's clever. He's powerful. He does the lot. He's powerful. He's quick. He's strong. He's getting stronger as well. You know, he's powerful, quick, strong. He's intelligent. He has the lot, like literally the lot. He's very exciting.
Very exciting indeed, mate. Very exciting. Jack Morrissey's in the house, one of our members. Big up, Jack. Hope you're well, mate. You're always welcome on the channel, as I said. Always welcome on the channel. Frank's having an absolute shocker. I don't know.
I really am.
Go do what you got to do. Go do what you got to do. We will. That's not the right one, is it? That is the right one. We're going to get that one in a minute. But yeah, Jack's saying, my general feeling is the solid base we have been missing for 2 years is back. The system will develop. And last night's biggest woes were with the personal errors with passing. Yeah, we looked at the passing stats actually, Jack. It was a lot of incomplete passes. I think only 80-something%. So anyway. I am on the Thomas Frank train. Absolutely love it. On the Thomas Frank choo-choo train. Thomas the Frank engine. Absolutely love it. Stu thinks that Bergvall is an 8 as well. And Alan's saying, wow, the optimism, Frank. Anyway, so in Thomas Frank's post-match press conference, he said, I think there was a spell in the second half where we decided to give the ball away every single time we had it. And this is exactly what you're saying, Jack. We gave the ball away. Let's bring it back. I'll give it away. Let's bring it back. So he seemed a little bit frustrated. It's a little bit easier to sit here with a smile. But of course, that level we will raise, he said. He also went on to say, well, it was a big win. It's his first UCL win. It's his first Champions League game. And it's his first Champions League win, Frank. So not too bad on that sense. So big up to Thomas Frank for getting 100%. He must be one of the only managers in the world with a 100% Champions League record, must he? It's a bit like that Sam Allardyce stat, who's 100% win rate. Choo blood, says Jack. He'll be Tottenham till he dies. I really like Thomas Frank. I mean, I know it's early, but I just really like. I saw how happy he was. He had his arms around the players going off the pitch with Romero, both buzzing going down the tunnel. I just think he's already really adapted to this sort of Tottenham way of life, if you like. I mean, let's see how much of his hair falls out in the next 6 months, because that meme about sort of managers looking a bit more unwell after they've been in charge of Tottenham for a while. Hopefully, he's got a good set of hair for whatever age he is. Like, fair play to him. He's probably got better hair than me. Now we are 4 games won, 4 clean sheets, which is massive. He said on the defensive improvements. This is one thing I wanted to just kind of quickly touch on, Frank, is and when I say Frank, I mean you, not Thomas Frank. What has changed in our defence? Is it the fact we're not just playing this psychotic sort of high line? Is it the defenders are on form? Like, talk to me. What do you think it is?
I think it's just the fact that the system has changed. I know you sort of touched on earlier on prior to this that he's got a good set of defenders at that club, right? Romero's a World Cup winner. Van der Ven is Van der Ven. Jed Spencer's a good defender. Udogie is a good defender. Porro's a top player. I think he probably needs some work defensively, but he's not an idiot, right? He's a good defender. He's a Premier League right back, right? And a good one at that. And so I do. Last year was crazy. We played with a midfield that was chaotic and all over the place. We played with a back line that was all over the place. We played with a front line that hardly actually created a lot, although it was this attacking style. We didn't actually do much attacking half the time. And so a lot of the system last year was just a mess. But if you build from the bottom and you build from the foundations, which are defensively sort of minded players, it was Ferguson that said, attack wins you games and defense wins you titles, right? And that's simple. It's the foundations of being a good side. So I think we just have good defenders, and I think people again, like a bit like Bergvall, will realise at the end of the season how good Christian Romero is. Like Van der Ven gets picked up on by the media because he's so quick, and that's great, and rightly so. But Romero doesn't get picked up, and I thought last night he was immense. Like I thought he was really good last night, and I think that's going to start getting picked up as the season goes on, and we keep more clean sheets than we have been because listen, we are shaping up to be defensively a good side, but that's because we also have good players. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a mixture of kind of everything, but I think the system change is the biggest of a lot.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Guys, let us know if you agree with Frank there on the sort of tactics, the system. Scott Amos saying, can I say on the bench? As in, like, people get annoyed about you saying, like, bench players rather than rotation players. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, mate. Of course. Absolutely. Couple more points. So, where are we? Say a couple more points. This is just a bit of fun. We talked quickly about the TIFO last night. What a spectacular sight that was. And comparing it to the Arsenal one, where whenever they did that, which was this pre like them playing Real Madrid or something? They did win. I can't remember.
Yeah, or PSG or something last year. Yeah, I mean it's very funny.
It was. I've seen people react like a few nibbles online to this, like, oh, the Arsenal one was fan funded. I'm thinking, well, THFC Flags is fan funded, isn't it? Like, I know they work quite closely with the club now, but anyway, that is quite special. I think that's the best one yet. It looks so cool.
It's amazing.
It looks so cool, and that would have taken ages, by the way. That would have taken absolutely ages. Like all the planning to do that. They must have some software where they like can plan out exactly what like seat they need to put it all on it. I'd love to know how they kind of do that. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think on that. Alan saying he's fast becoming a proper captain on Romero. He is. And Jack Morrissey saying thoughts on Mwani's cameo. We did touch on it, Jack, but yeah, in short, it was a bit lackluster, a little bit lackluster from Kolo Mwani. We were saying it looked like a player that was sort of not fully match fit and sort of I think Frank described it well. He said, when you don't play five-a-side football for sort of 2 weeks and you come back and you're like absolutely like panting. One of them.
There was something that he did that really made me laugh though. Like I audibly laughed sat in my seat. Was he tried to sort of take it past someone and draw past someone and he slipped off the pitch and it looked like he just did his ACL as he went. His sort of legs like caved in. And I just thought, had he have got injured there and actually done his ACL, so it would have been so Tottenham, wouldn't it? They got this guy on a 1 year loan with no option, and he's done because he slipped off the pitch. I mean, that tickled me. I have to be honest. I mean, yeah, it was a as far as cameos go, it was it weren't great, but he needs to get back to full fitness, and once he is, I think he'll be a good player.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll keep an eye on Kolo Muani, that's for sure. I think he is going to come good, guys. I think he's going to be a really important player, really useful player. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe we're well off here. Maybe we're just getting a bit, carried away. Alan said another speculative site, your TV. Yeah, I was on TV earlier. I will be putting it on the channel probably either tonight or tomorrow. So keep your notification bells on that. It was good to go on to TV for my first appearance. I was a little bit nervous, but yeah, it was good fun. And I'll put up the whole interview tomorrow. So guys, get your notification bells on for that if you're interested. And guys, make sure you are please hitting that like button. It's super important. Turning on the noti bells. Noti bells are just as important. And subscribe if you're new. Frank, will we hit 4.4K? Maybe we have. But anyway, please do hit the subscribe button here. Please do hit the like button and all that, guys. That really is great. And Jack's saying he doesn't seem to want to be here, really. Do you think that, Frank? Do you think that?
Me shaking my head, by the way, was that we haven't hit 4.4 yet.
That's great, guys. Surely there's someone in here that's not subscribed. I mean, we're 4.4K. Get me there. Help me to sleep tonight. I think we're actually 2 off. Maybe someone's unsubbed. I mean, what are we doing wrong here, Frank? No, I'm joking. Sorry. What would you say to this one, mate?
I think he probably. Listen, I think we were probably. As awful as this is, I think we probably panicked and signed him, and I think he probably panicked and signed for us, and I think that's kind of what it was. I'm sure he's content, but then again, I look at a lot of players, a bit like Tel in January, that we all go, it's probably a bit of a panic, and I think a lot of players end up loving it at Tottenham because it is it's quite comfortable, but you're in London, you're hopefully competing, you're there or thereabouts. And so I think players like playing for Tottenham. And so I think he probably will be one that will bed in. But yeah, I mean, right now, I don't think we would have been his first choice. And I get why, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. We'll see what happens. And Alan's called me, I believe, Chris Cowlin again. I don't really understand these Chris Cowlin son allegations. I don't think, is it my haircut? Like, what is it? I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. But anyway, I love the banter. I'm sure I could be called something worse. Alan's absolutely finding this hilarious. But anyway, guys, I think we'll end it there. 50 minutes of a little bit of a match analysis for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Before you all click off, please don't all just click off. Give me 30 seconds. Once again, please appreciate all the support. Lovely comments today. Great engagement. Please hit the like, guys. Hit the notification bell on. Subscribe if you're new. 3 of those things. And then the fourth thing, please also go and subscribe to Frank's channel down below. I say down below. I'm about to put it in the live chat. He is trying to grow his channel right now. He is on 292 subs, 292 subs. Frank?
8 from 300.
So 8 from 300, guys. Please click that link that I've just spammed in the chat. Subscribe to Frank's channel. He's going to be uploading probably very, very soon. And support Frank as well, guys. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's see if we can get him 8 subscribers. There's 40-something still watching. 8 of you, or just all of you, click on that and go and subscribe to Frank. And while you do that, please make sure you're hitting the like button on here, hitting the subscribe button. Oh, that's a bit of a throwback. That's slow sports news. That is at the bottom. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you are new. Alan, appreciate you going back. Guys, that is everything. We will be have a video again very shortly. Make sure you got your noti bell on so you never miss it. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you again very soon. Back on Spurs Related, back on your screens. And also, sorry, before I go, thank you again to James for the super sticker. That was very kind of you as well. And that does go a long way. So appreciated. Guys, remember, as always, come on, you Spurs. Come on.